We are in Saxony on these sandstone towers, and I think it's not exaggerating that the birth of proper rock climbing was born here around 160 years ago.
Klettern war für mich alles. Eine völlig neue Welt und wunderbar. Mit der Herausforderung, geht das?
Ja, der Fels, der dir zum Partner wird oder auch zum Freund, das ist ja ein Auserwählter. Und je mehr man sich mit dem auseinandersetzen musste, umso näher rückt er dir, ne? Weil er dir ja bei der Selbstfindung unheimlich behilflich war.
I remember very well the feeling when you are 10 meters above the ring and you see, wow, here I can maybe put the ring, but maybe I can make one hard move more and then I put the ring. And the feeling was incredible because you are scared, but you can also believe it. The next boy, how he will be scared there. So you really push again.
I stopped with first descents because I had the feeling that it's not possible to do something else which is also so beautiful.
I think it's always humbling to realize what these climbers could have done so many years ago with no modern training and no modern gear. And Robert Leistner, Herbert Richter did it barefoot in the 60s. It's very impressive, for sure. I mean, these routes, yes, there's lots of like smearing, but still, I think it's very good to have the rubber on your feet.
Da gehst du hin und sagst, es ist weit zum Ring. Und da musst du sagen, bin ich heute bereit? Ne? Und du musst das Herz in die Hand nehmen. Und das ist, finde ich, ein wertvoller Erziehungsfaktor. Man muss sich selbst prüfen, sozusagen. Man muss ehrlich zu sich sein. Dann muss man auch sagen können, nein, ich fühle mich nicht gut. Oder ich bin nicht reif für diesen Weg. Ja, man kann ja nach den schweren Wegen schielen, aber ich bin nicht reif dafür. Und wenn ich noch schwerer will und bloß krampfe, dann macht es ja keine Freude. Also dieses sich selbst fragen müssen, das finde ich so wertvoll.
Definitely quite scary. No, I'm not going to whip. It's actually way scarier than you think.
Und das ist so ein Moment, wo hier ist ja doch was. Und dann gibt es so schöne Tage, so besondere Tage. Die Tage, wo das Klettern so völlig, also kann ganz schwer sein. Und man weiß, und wenn bloß ein starker Wind kommt, da fliege ich herunter. Und man ist ruhig und sagt, und ist bei sich, völlig bei sich, ist ganz ruhig und das ist so schön. Dann sind die Gipfelsiege am schönsten.
Diese Erlebnisse, das sind ja bloß immer Augenblicke. Beim Klettern, dieser Höhepunkt, der zieht sich ja nicht über Stunden hin, sondern das sind Momente, Augenblicke, für die man eigentlich arbeitet, für die trainiert man, für die rennt man immer wieder dorthin. Und dann kann es sein, dass der Augenblick kommt. Aber der Augenblick ist nicht programmierbar. Sondern der Augenblick kommt nur in der Situation, wo du über den Dingen stehst. Wo du das wirklich, das Schwierige mit Leichtigkeit machen kannst.
Okay. So on Saxon sandstone, you can't use chalk. You have to protect yourself with slings. You are not allowed to use any cams or nuts because it would destroy the rock. And you are able to use rings as a protection, but only in certain distance. You can't just overbolt it. And all of these routes have in common that you just really have to go ground up and try to get to the top. And in the meantime, even if the rings are 3-4 meters apart, you might still get enough adventure because it's the pure onside. No choke marks, no tick marks, and you just have to somehow climb to the top using everything that you learned in climbing.
Dieser Gedanke, dass man gefahrlos nach oben gehen kann, ist mit der Gesellschaft verbunden. Weil in der Gesellschaft ist es ja so, da wird ja möglichst jede Gefahr ausgeschaltet und es soll alles ohne Gefahr passieren. Das ist die Freiheit, die man sich nimmt. Und die gibt es nirgendwo in der Gesellschaft. Weil da wirst du überall gleich reglementiert und auf die Pfoten gepocht. Das ist großartig. Da muss man ganz was anderes bieten. Ja, Magnesium ist für mich persönlich eigentlich eine ästhetische Frage, weil das hinterlässt eben Spuren. Und damit wird ja mitunter schon ein Stück des Kletterns aufgelöst, weil die Bewegungsabläufe, da muss ich mir gar nicht mehr so viel Gedanken machen. Da muss ich einfach Patsche, Patsche machen. Und das ist ein bisschen schade, weil das Denken wird ja da ein bisschen abgenommen. Und das muss jeder selber wissen.
Bert Arnold did it in 82 barefoot. I think what is special, like climbing this route especially, the tower is so imposing and spectacular, and once you get out of the chimney, it's so exposed, and especially making the first ascent with the gear that they have, barefoot, making these runouts, and making the first ascent like not knowing if the route is actually climbable is something that we should learn from. I mean, the modern approach is definitely not bad, and I am doing it as well, but I think it's really good that there are crags like this in a world where we climb differently.
Ah!
Oh, so tired. You feel like you're climbing half of El Cap. I don't know what it can be for the red point, maybe 10C, which could translate to 7C+. But there's a 7C+ with chalked holes on the Spanish limestone, and then there is this 7C+ that I think to onside is really tough, and I'm pretty proud that I did it.
Und das alles dient, den Weg zu dir in dein Inneres zu finden und mit Ruhe und Gelassenheit die Welt zu sehen. Das ist so der große Wunsch. Es gelingt nie immer, aber man kann manchmal ganz nah an die Situation rankommen.
Robert Leistner is the reason I'm here. He is the current generation of route developers, and he's making some of the hardest first ascents nowadays.
Boah, jetzt Schluss.
Hält er oder nicht? Das ist die Frage. Hält er oder nicht? Er hält erstmal. So, perfect.
I've always been sort of like hard climbing without chalk. That doesn't sound fun, but he really showed me some pictures. I saw some videos, and I thought like those lines, they are just something that I have to try.
Maybe I start with this tree. So this tree was standing here, where you can see 2005, where we made the first ascent of here, this route, Vertreibung der letzten Idealisten. And this was a time everything was alright in my life. And after I focused on business. So there was not too much time to be outside. But I never forgot that this is maybe the most important place I have to be. It's not in some business groups, it's also not in the bank. It's on such a tree. It's somewhere here in the middle of these rocks.
Alter! Danke. Yeah!
It took me over 14 years. Routes which has the same grade in other areas took me around 4 till 6 days. So not 14 years. I think it's a bit different.
The very first moves are quite hard, and I was like blown away, like, wow, this is insane.
Okay. Yes. Like this, put up.
I mean, this is so cool, you know. With the sport climbing approach, sometimes you just lose so much adventure. And of course, if I'm sport climbing, I'm using like all the means to get to the top and work out the moves. But like, I think first on the Sandstone, go up and just try to fight it from ring to ring is just such a cool thing.
Yes. Yes, Adam. This is better. Ale.
Woohoo! So this is the end of the Crag 2. To get to the top is easier, but still far from over. The Vertreibung der letzten Idealisten goes slightly left to join an old XIIa route and finish in very cool Crag. And I think my plan is to have a proper experience on the red point. I want to climb the very top on site, so I think I will just finish here, work out the hard bits, and maybe then I'll see, maybe just call it a day and save my skin for tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the part from XIIa. Incredible that something like this was possible in the early 80s.
Wolfgang Gillich tried climb my route. The name is Super Direct Wanden Abendrette, and there was distance maybe 12 meter, and the middle was small slings, and he probably are not able to put right the slings, and he fall below the next bolt, and he fly. I remember 20 meter, and then he told, "Oh, okay, this route is not for me." I was not happy, but I get good smile in my face.
Very good. The goal was not only make hard route, make also hard and danger route, but was not only my goal do it. This was a standard. Everyone do like that. Climb maximum high as you can, put the ring,
and then climb maximum height again, and I don't know, 10, 15 meter, try a very hard move, very high over the ring, and that's what our goal, and we make a lot fun, and no one die. So probably was not so dangerous like the people thinking.
Yes! What to tell? This route is a dream, not only for Sandstone, but I think for... It's hard to find a route which is as perfect as this. And then the final Crag, which is also like the first ascent of Indra Hudacek 43 years ago. It's just crazy.
Nice, Adam.
Nice, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm very happy about that you did it. Crazy
Wow,
job. Nice one.
So good.
And your name? Yeah.
This is a historical machine standing years over years in the bakery of my father. Wow. It's pretty rusty over the winter. I grew up in the bakery. My parents and also my grandparents and the parents of my grandparents had the same bakery in Chemnitz, and it was a family tradition. So I like traditions because I like to try something which other people did 100 years ago, and maybe this is the reason why I'm love the tradition of climbing here in this area, to have maybe the same feeling like people had almost also in the past. So if I'm walking with the dough, I have the feeling I'm a bit closer to my family. So eine Runde gibt's selten, ja. Naja, was Besonderes schon. Zum Wohl.
It's just incredible. I mean, big adventure. Also to do just AF ascent, which means just getting to the top from ring to ring. This is so, it must have been so insane to make the first ascent and decipher all the moves and never really knowing if maybe the next section is actually possible or not. But the Mother Nature made it just perfect. This route is just made to be red pointed. It makes so much sense, and the climbing will be so good.